Longer. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you're all having a great day, or at least you're not having a terrible day today. So, I want to congratulate you on having this eighth session of our sales and negotiations trainings, and I want to congratulate you on sticking up until the end and being active and changing your strategies and evolving as a specialist, as a professional. So, for all of that, I want to thank you and I want to congratulate you. Today, we have a few more topics to discuss in order for us to reflect on our journey together and take with us all the things we want to take with us to make us more efficient in working with our patients. And of course, a few more things I would like us to learn in order for you to close your clients quicker, more efficiently, and obviously in the most ethical way possible. I would like us to start by doing a little practice. Let's say it's a warm up exercise in order for us to continue where we left off. And obviously, we did left off talking about handling objections. We did discuss a few techniques of how you can approach talking about different objections, persuading your clients, changing their opinion, and so on and so forth. And I do want to thank you for bringing beautiful examples of handling objections with your particular patients and clients. And I hope you had fun watching all of your colleagues sending their examples, and maybe there were some interesting examples that you would like to take for yourself in your work with your clients. So, unfortunately, there is not always a time for us to, um, take few days to phrase a very structured and informative and persuasive script to answer our clients. Sometimes we do need to answer right away. Maybe you're on a call, maybe a client is very chatty and you're talking with them right here right now, so we don't want to let them off the hook. So let's do a warm up exercise preparing an short and sweet answers to our most common objections. So this is how this practice is going to take place. You're going to be divided into a few groups. You will have 5 minutes to prepare. And what I want you to do is take a few of your most common objections. Basically, it's too expensive. I found a cheaper option. I don't want to go. I need to think about it. Well, you know the drill, right? And I want you to prepare with your team one example of short answer to that particular objections, right? So when you come back, I'm gonna ask each one of you some objection, and I would like you to answer strongly, efficiently, and in the quickest way possible, right? For you to feel more confident working with your clients and having more options how you can start building dialogue after you approach some sort of difficult situation or decline from a client or an objection of sorts. So you split into groups. 5 minute preparation. You choose a few of different objections and you prepare a short answer for each of them. Like short answer meaning few sentences at the most, like a sentence and a question, or two sentences and a question, right? So you would be quick, sharp, and direct. If that task is clear, please put number three in chat. If something is unclear, please ask your question. All right. So let's get to it then. Please join the breakout room. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I hope you did prepare um, some kind of answers to different objections of yours. And now we're going to move like this. I'm going to just show an objection. I'm gonna ask a person to answer from each group, and then I'm gonna show you some examples of how I myself would start treating this objection or handling it, and then we're gonna move on to the next objection and next person. Okay. So the first objection is gonna be, I need to think about it. So from the first room, Ali. Ali, I need to think about it.
I understand that you like to consider your options, but be aware that this code is only valid until end of the month or just for 2 weeks. So we need to proceed as soon as possible.
And the question in the end.
Uh, I mean, what do you think about my recommendation? What do you think? Like that we proceed now, or
No, it's okay. Just say it confidently. It's all good.
okay, that's one. Mhm.
All right. Michael Innocent. Michael, are you here?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear
Michael, I
me?
need to think about it.
Of course, I understand this is an important decision, and it's good to take time to think it through. Just so I can support you better, is there any specific you would like more clarity on while you're thinking?
Okay, beautiful. Maurice, I need to think about it.
Well, thank you for letting me know your concern. Is there anything you want us to talk about that you want to go ahead to think about? I mean, I could help you with extra information and options to help you in your thought process.
Okay, thank you so much. And Naila, I need to think about it.
Thank you so much for letting me know. Is there anything specific? Because it sounds like there's some topic you would like to discuss further. I'm sure you have some questions. We can adjust or discuss any part. What would you like to talk about?
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. So a few of more examples for you. So, Mr. Alexander, are your doubts about this particular part of our offer, or is it more a question of this? Okay, Mr. Alexander, let's be honest. If you liked everything, you would simply say yes. So tell me, what causing your doubts? Sure thing, Mr. Alexander. May I ask just one thing? How much do you like the offer and the price so far, from like 1 to 10? Okay, and what would it take for it to be a 10? Great. Next objection. It's too expensive. Confidence.
So for it's so expensive, okay, so I'm asking you, um, well, what we discussed is that one of the things that we need to say is, don't forget that it's an all-inclusive package. You're getting the hotel room, um, hotel stay, includes hotel stay, airport pickup. This way you don't have to spend anything more. And of course, you can also trust on the safety of the surgeon and the outcome that you can get. Here are the doctor's credentials. Would you like me to go over the offer with you in greater detail so that you can see what you're getting for this price?
Okay, beautiful. Queen, it's too expensive.
Okay, I understand that it may be a bit above your budget. Do you have a particular budget range you are working with that you are more comfortable with?
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm gonna mute Michael. I'm sorry for him interrupting you. Quinn, I have a question. You said I understand it's above your budget, and then you asked what my budget is.
Okay, sorry, let me rephrase. I
Okay.
understand that you are not comfortable with the price. Do you have a budget you are currently working with?
Okay, thank you so much. Um, Max.
Um, this cost makes sure that you get the level of service and experience you are looking for. So if you're still looking for some better cost options, we could also discuss that. But for that, could you please let me know what specific budget expectations do you have? And maybe is there something you would like to exclude from the offer, like hotel stay or the transfer, so we can make it less expensive for you?
Okay, beautiful. And Wissam, it's too expensive.
Sorry, my okay, too expensive. Okay, I understand that the price is a little bit expensive for you, maybe. The cost is important factor, and the price reflects the surgeon expertise, advanced technology, and full medical support for safety. If I would like, I can suggest maybe more affordable for you, fit your budget. And I will ask, of course, what is the price range comfortable with? Are you comfortable with?
Okay, which price are you comfortable with? Beautiful. Okay, a few more examples for you. Thank you for your honest answer. May I just ask why you think so? I understand your desire to save money, but I really wouldn't advise that, and here's why. Mr. Alexander, I understand your desire to save money, but I wouldn't advise that because the consequences can be more expensive. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's a problem though, because today there are very profitable options, and terms of those options will change in the future. Do you see what I mean? Mr. Alexander, I understand why it may seem that way, but the task or a problem of your health, for example, is still relevant for you. So the only question you have in mind is whether the solution of the option is the most rational one. Am I correct? All right. I would say that any price can feel high if you don't know what you're paying for. Let me explain why this price is exactly like this. Mr. Alexander, tell me, when you say it's expensive, do you mean it's above the budget you planned, or do you think that this particular offer itself isn't worth that much? All right, moving on to I don't want to travel, or I want to get treated at home. I want to stay home. All right, Ayub Taibi.
I want to stay home.
I don't want to go to another country.
Could you just explain to me, please, uh, why, what is your reason for you cannot um, to travel to another country? I can convince to you, another country is near to you, for example.
Okay, beautiful.
Mm.
Victoria,
Could I-
yes, thank you. Victoria.
Thank you for that. That's completely understandable because I know being close to home feels safer. But could you explain to me why you would not want to travel?
Okay. Mikola.
Thank you for letting me know. I completely understand that staying home might sound like a good idea, but considering prices in your country for this particular surgery, even with cost of the flights, the whole program seems much cheaper if we do it in another country. What do you think?
Okay, I think I kind of agree. Shahira.
All right, I completely understand your preference. I would highly recommend you treatment abroad only because it offers the high expertise and result. Would you like me to explain how the trip will be fully organized for you?
Okay, thank you so much. A few more examples coming up. Listen, I understand. That's why so many patients start not with the trip itself, but with a second opinion from a different doctor to understand whether their particular home option, if you can call it that, is the best solution for your situation. So tell me, how do you like that idea? Listen, that's absolutely logical. The only question is whether at home they showed you all the treatment alternatives or only, the standard path. Would it be useful for you to compare this? Mr. Alexander, treating at home is a normal desire. My job is to help you make sure the decision is truly the best one for you. So tell me, what matters most to you when choosing an option? Next, it's cheaper somewhere else. Ayad. All right. Zikra.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I would say prices can vary because because of what includes various experience, materials, safety standards, and so on. Would you like to compare the cheaper price or cheaper offer which you got with the offer which I have it presented for you?
Okay, beautiful. Omar. Okay. So AI texted in the chat. I totally understand it's medical procedures. The price in medical procedures, the price differs usually comes from surgeon experience, hospital standards, anesthesia team, and post-operation care. Yeah, and you would like to follow that up with like a call to action or, like a summary or an example what you would like a client to do or a question at the end. Yeah, Victoria, I see a question. I'm gonna get back to it after this one. All right, let's finish with the cheaper option. Winnington.
Yeah, so it's always cheaper somewhere else. What I'm offering is well-vetted clinic options as well as experienced surgeons in a well-coordinated package. So what matters to you the most? Is it the cost or the outcome?
Beautiful. Okay, Eve, it's cheaper somewhere else, obviously.
I completely understand that prices may vary, but the thing you need to understand is that the price totally reflects the surgeon's experience and level of medical care that the clinic provides. And I really don't recommend you to compromise it when we're talking about your health. However, could you please share the offer that you received so we can compare it carefully?
Okay, so we can compare it carefully. See the tone, I don't understand whether you finished or not. Yeah. So we can compare it carefully, right? So I would hear. Okay, beautiful. And I would like oh, that's actually the last one. Let's see. Yeah, that happens often. In most cheaper offers, they show only the base price for the procedure, without the doctor, test, post-op, follow-up, and coordination. That's exactly why you're here with me now, to see the full picture. So tell me, what matters most to you? The smallest number in an ad or a safe and predictable result without surprises? Of course, Mr. Alexander, a different price usually means a different, quality and a level of service. So, which factors are important to you when choosing a clinic or a doctor or procedure? Mr. Alexander, is it more important for you to save money or to be sure that you will get this and this result? And Mr. Alexander, tell me, is a lowest price the only thing you're looking for when choosing, for example, a clinic or where to run this procedure? Okay, so we had a question from Victoria. Still don't understand how to respond if client says, I do not want to travel. So, Victoria, would you kindly tell me what still confuses you?
Yeah, I feel like when a patient tells they don't want to travel, they're already very adamant on that. So I still don't know how I'm going to convince the patient, like, what do I have to say? Or could I just be like, can you tell me, is it because of the recovery period? Like, I don't know how to answer the question. That's just it.
Yeah, so obviously there are a lot of different ways you can approach this. And first thing you might want to do is go through the examples of your colleagues in general chat, just to see whether there were some types of scripts you did like, or maybe there were some answers to different objections, but the logic of which you might adapt to working with this particular objection. In my opinion, the best way to go about this is obviously sympathize with the client, show empathy, and then clarify what stops them. Like they don't like a particular country, they're scared, they don't want to overpay for traveling costs, or is it something else? And depending on what stops them, then you build an argument why going to another country, although it's, for example, more expensive, or it's scary, or it's their first time, or they have some sort of prejudice about their country, is still a better option, right? So if it's an objective objection, right, it's a factual one, we cannot get rid of it. Your task is to add value, explain why still having this objection, you have to go, and this is why. If it's something subjective, like he's scared, right? Then your task is to persuade them that there's nothing to be scared of, that your client is going to be taken by the hand and, walked through the whole process. We're going to support him 24/7. This country is and this clinic is very accommodating for foreign tourists because majority of their patients are from other countries. So you're just going to feel like you're going on a vacation and at the same time becoming a better version of yourself, right? So it's nothing to be scared of. Did I convince you? Right? And the question in the end. So
Yes,
that would
that
be
makes
my
sense.
response.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much for asking. Okay. By the way, we have forgotten the most important part. Let's show some reactions to ourselves and our beautiful colleagues for their answers, because I did like a lot of them. And what I did like most is that all of you did answer something, right? It might have been not the best option, but you did feel confident and you did act sharply, swiftly. So I applaud you for that. Okay, moving on to our last topic. So if we want to close a client, it's safe to say that statistically those clients that who are booked for the nearest dates, well, they cancel less often, right? It might sound like if a client is really serious, if he's really gonna go for it and he's planning ahead, there is less chance for him to cancel. But the reality is that a lot of things can happen during today's date and a date client plans on something. And the longer you wait, the more chances that the life will take its course, right? Something might happen to a client, God forbid. He can change his mind. Some financial situation might occur. Maybe someone would persuade him to take other option, etc., etc. So the closer you get your client in terms of dates and time frame, the easier it is to predict that the client is actually going to go for it. But working in Bookimed, we need to make sure that we're doing everything ethically and with the most respect for the client as possible, but we're still getting the job done. So would you guys give me some recommendations how to push the client and close the client ethically, right? What can we do, which tools we can use in order for them not to think for way too long and make the decision quicker? So I'm open to your ideas.
We could, give a price deadline, as Mykola just texted. We usually tell that clinics review their cost policies from time to time. That's why the offers are valid for a limited amount of time, and that's why we should consider it sooner than later to make sure you're not having to overpay.
Okay, Beautiful. Thank you so much. Mikola says price deadline. Eve says offer is valid for 30 days only. Okay. So setting a deadline, window of opportunity of sorts, tight schedule of doctors, right? So the deficit of available slots for getting the procedure, getting some surgery done. We can say this price with discount till 30 days. Yeah, for 30 days. Okay. Discounts of some financial benefit for the client, right?
Also, if we had a chance to get this part during the need gathering part, we can push on their psychological part of the request. For example, if they do not feel comfortable with their current state, we could use something like, we could help it happen faster, sooner. The sooner, the better it is for you, and the sooner you get to feel better about yourself.
Okay, beautiful. So basically like a painkiller or achieving certain goals of the client, right? If we did discover their needs, we should have done, probably. And Zikra says expiration of the offer valid till some date. Okay, beautiful. So basically, oh, okay, Mikola says, if we won't do liposuction tomorrow, in a few months, you might need a tummy tuck. Yeah. So, so basically, all of those examples are what? The sales triggers, right? We did go through the sales triggers a few trainings back. So is there anything else? We should definitely use sales triggers. Is there anything else we need to do in order to make sure our client doesn't think for too long?
Give them all the reasons why this offer is already what he's looking for or she's looking for.
Okay, so basically maybe we can summarize the offer and focus them on the benefits again. Maybe connect them to the needs of the client, right? Just to remind that, yep, this is why you shouldn't sleep on this offer. Okay. Anything else? Limited number of slots. Yeah, again, that's a deficit. That's a sales trigger. All right. So let me add some additional tools to your arsenal. So first and foremost, we need to think ahead, right? And thinking ahead means thinking about how client is actually prepared and how client sees a certain offer. And our call to action actually applies to the same rules. So basically, we need to use pre-framing and qualify whether client is ready or not. Pre-framing means basically saying something, for example, like Max said, right, if I'm not mistaken, about summarizing the benefits for the client. So in order for client to react more reasonably to our call to action, when we offer to, close the deal, book a dates, and so on and so forth, we need to make sure that client sees this call to action in the right lighting. And if we're not sure, because we can be sure, for example, client says that he's liking everything, he's reacting positively to your messages, and so on and so forth. So we can just see that he's ready to go. But if we're not ready, we can actually qualify, right? And ask if the client is ready. As for myself, I do like to ask 2 questions in order to see whether client is good enough to actually close the deal. So first and foremost, I ask my clients if there anything which is unclear to the client. Is there any information that is missing? Maybe he wants to ask something. Maybe something is not clear enough. If client says that everything is clear, he understands all the bullet points and so on, then I ask the second question, which is, how do you like the offer so far? How do you like this particular offer maybe? So if in this particular case, I'm fishing for hidden objections, right? I want to make sure, because if I just call to action, then he might say, no, I'm going to think about it, and I'm going back to objection handling. So before doing that, I ask, does he like it? So if he has all the information and he says, yeah, I like it a lot, then it's a signal for me to call to action. Obviously, I need to add a specific sales triggers which would work best for this particular client and with this particular offer. Maybe a client is very money driven, right? So I need to amplify the discounts and money sales triggers. Maybe client is very afraid for his health or the outcome of some surgery. So I need to make sure that they understand that it's a really bad idea to take a long time and think about it for a few months more. So I connect and use those sales triggers, which would, in my opinion, work best for this particular client with this particular offer. And obviously, I need to phrase somehow my call to action in order for it to sound reasonable, relevant, and persuasive, for it to actually motivate the client. So tell me, guys, is there any particular call to action technique or strategy or phrasing that you like or that you use or that you can share with us?
I usually start the call to action with "could you please," and then continue the sentence.
Okay, so basically, it's like a framing of being polite, right? Client oriented, respecting the client. Yeah, it's a good framing. I use that a lot as well.
I usually start my call to actions with like, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Not asking like direct questions, but asking for opinion.
Yeah, so basically qualifying, right? As we discussed before. So, but basically, you and Max both, you're talking about pre-framing, but I'm wondering about the call to action itself.
I'm asking if the offer suits the patient's needs, if he likes the doctor's qualifications, and if the offer suits his budget.
Okay, again, beautiful questions. And again, we're talking about qualifying the client if he's ready to hear call to action. I want to hear how you call to action your clients, how you motivate them, not how you approach call to action, because those approaches are reasonable and very efficient. But I want to hear call to action itself.
So an example of how it would sound, right?
Yeah, how you can phrase it, right? For it to be persuasive.
Okay. So Ali, you can go on and I'll.
Is it after the offer presentation or?
Yeah,
anywhere?
sure. It's at the very end when you're closing
Oh.
the deal.
Okay, I was thinking about that at the beginning. Sorry, you can go on, Max.
Yeah, so for example, could you please let me know what you think of this offer and if that's exactly what you were looking for? Let me know if there's anything else you would like to know or just about it so I can help you in the best manner possible. Something like that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I say, does it meet your expectation or is there anything I can help you with to clarify?
Okay, again, see, that's a beautiful question, but it's approaching call to action, right? You're qualifying whether I'm ready or not. And if I say, yeah, I like it a lot, you will say what? So, for example, Ali, you ask this question, and I say, everything is clear. I like all of it. What do you say next? How do you call to action?
Then I would say, then we can proceed with, or when would you like to have the procedure or treatment? I would say next.
Okay, so basically, it's like giving options without an option, right? So we just ask, when would you like to start?
Yeah.
Like we're not asking if he's ready to start. We're just asking when would you like to start?
If you like the offer,
yeah,
which you are expecting, then it's kind of mean that you are ready to proceed.
Yeah, sure.
And the next step would be to finding out which days would be suitable for you and also for the doctor.
Okay, makes sense. Naila says, would you like me to hold What's a tentative? I'm sorry, I'm not that good at English.
It's like
A
if you're not
certain?
no, if you're like if patients are not fully sure, and then we can hold it and we can switch the date if anything
Oh,
happens.
okay. Like to book a date, but we can switch it up later, right? So
Yeah, but most
it's
times
like
they will come.
pre-booking.
Yeah, most times they will come on this date.
Okay. Would you like me to hold a tentative date for tentative date for you, or do you have anything you would like me to clarify before? Okay, beautiful. Let me share 3 examples of call to action techniques you might use in your phrasing. And I'm pretty sure some of you used some of these techniques. You just didn't know that, there's a word for it, you know? So the first technique is exactly what we've seen in a chat from Naila right now, and it's called the client's opinion. So listen, obviously the easiest one is just direct call to action, right? So we just suggest something and we're asking, are you ready to go? Would you like to book these dates, right? The direct approach is the most common and widely used one, and it works like a charm. But there are different situations, and sometimes we need to be more careful with the client. So if you're working with a really like big client, not in terms of their weight or size, but in terms of, for example, their budget, right? We really want to close this client. It's really important for us, for the company, and for the client, obviously. Or maybe the client is way too aggressive, or client is really, really scared. Really, he can easily be scared. In this particular case, we can use a technique called client's opinion. So basically, it's the same as a direct call to action, but like with the room for client to maneuver. So for example, you say, so Mr. Alexander, as far as I can see, this offer suits you best. So tell me, do you have any particular questions left, or we're ready to book a date? Right? So you like say, can we go? Or maybe you have some questions. So you don't corner them. You still leave them some room to move if they would like to move, right? So you're being just more careful. Next technique is called visualization. So basically, you do know what that word means. It's when you create a beautiful picture inside a client's head. So you make them associate with a brighter future. So this technique works like this. You basically tell your client a story, and the story starts with closing a deal, with accepting dates or an offer. And then you build in their head like a roadmap of what will happen, which results, and when client is going to achieve, how he's going to feel. And you focus them on this bright future. And when they're focused on that, the decision they need to make right now becomes way smaller, and it's not that scary. So you do that, and in the end, you come back to the decision they need to make right now. After you build the picture, you says, okay, so in order for you, for us to proceed, all you have to do is say yes, so I can prepare the documents for you. Would you like me to go ahead? And that's it. And the third one is called lost time. Lost time. This is an excellent technique if you're working with a client who's very indecisive. Maybe you're working with a client for way too long, or it's taking them way too much time to make a decision, or maybe they're very hesitant, or maybe they actually did ask you about offers before and they declined, and now they're come back again, right? So this technique works like this. You basically tell your client honestly, with respect, about what they would have had now if they had agreed back then, when you actually first started offering them something, right? So you say, so Mr. Alexander, I understand that you're very hesitant. Let me just be totally honest with you. If you would have agreed to this particular clinic back in, for example, December, when we first started talking, right now you would have already gone through the procedure, through surgery. Your health would have been so much better. And you would say, I have so many more things that I want to focus on in my life, rather than focusing on this terrible thing I have going on. So, what would you say? Maybe it's time to start treatment, for us not to wait until March to again look back and say, why didn't we start in January? What do you say? How do you think about this, Mr. Alex? So you basically explain what would have happened to them if they wouldn't be hesitant back then and not lose a lot of time. Okay, so let's put your recommendations to use and try to build the most persuasive and word efficient call to action possible. So this is how we're going to work right now. You will be split into groups, and you will have 5 minutes to prepare basically a call to action. So your call to action should be using one of the techniques we discussed. So either lost time or visualization or client's opinion. You choose a particular patient, particular client you're working with, maybe particular surgery or particular procedure they need to go through. And then you improve the technique you used, the call to action technique, with sales triggers and the pre-framing, right? So how you would approach for client to react to this call to action more positively than he would without it. And when you're going to come back, one of your group, let's say group captain, would present and try to close me, for example, Mr. Alex or Mrs. Alexandra. It's all good. And we're going to rate your motivational speech, your call to action, and see whether there is something to be improved upon, or either perfect and very motivational and persuasive. So if that task is clear, please put number 5 in a chat. If something is unclear, please ask a question. Okay. So let's go. 10 minutes. Join the breakout room, please.